Recently, a player named Operator Otter put out a Bombardier Necromancer build that incorporated the Corpse Explosion package into a standard Bone Spear build. And at first, it looked like this was just a unique package that just worked really well with Bone Spear. But upon further investigation and further testing, it's looking like the Corpse Explosion package might actually just make every Necromancer build better. And we're going to be talking about that today. I'm going to explain why it's looking like that. I've tested this with Bone Spirit, I have tested this with Sever, I have tested this with Thorns, I have tested this with Bloodlance, and all of these builds are better with the Corpse Explosion package, although some of them for different reasons, but the core idea is the same. The Corpse Explosion package of Black River, Sacrilege, and the Flesh Eater Paragon node is incredibly powerful, and we're going to be talking about how it's going to change every build. To understand what makes this package so powerful, we first have to look at Black River. As you know, a lot of Necromancer builds benefit from consuming corpses, and Black River allows your Corpse Explosion to consume 5 corpses. That happens to be the exact number of corpses that we need to proc Flesh Eater, which means it becomes extremely easy to get 100% uptime on Flesh Eater for a 40% damage multiplier. The extra corpse consumption is also going to give us extra procs of Grim Harvest, giving us between 2 to 6 essence depending on how many points we invest into it. So you can see that already this package is giving us a 100% uptime on 40% damage, and it's going to be giving us a ton of essence generation. Because remember, the second piece of this package is the Sacrilege Soul, which is going to be auto-casting Corpse Explosions. Okay, so when you have the Sacrilege's Soul, right, you can see that it has +2 to all corpse skills. That's very important. We look at Black River, it has +4 to all corpse skills. We look at our helmet, which is the best helmet for virtually every build, Harlequin, +4 to all skills. We look at our Tempest here, and we're getting, on our Construct, again, +4 to all skills. And you can see I am at 15 ranks of Corpse Explosion. This actually goes to 19 with the Evernight, with only 5 points invested in the skill tree. And you can see how this is so strong. The investment here is incredibly low for a ton of ranks of Corpse Explosion. Keep in mind, even without Harlequin and without Evernight, you're still going to have 11 ranks of Corpse Explosion with extremely low investment, so it is still worth running in my opinion. Black River itself is giving a massive damage multiplier to Corpse Explosion. And you can see how with the free ranks of Corpse Explosion plus the massive multiplier from Black River, you can see how the Corpse Explosion with extremely low investment starts blasting a load of damage. On top of that, any generic multipliers you have, like the Blighted aspect, or Starless Skies, or obviously, not everyone has all the Ubers, but any generic multiplier is also going to be multiplying the Corpse Explosion. You can very easily, even without a ton of additional stuff, you can very easily get Corpse Explosions that are exploding for 2 or 3 million damage, which is enough to annihilate everything besides Elites and Nightmare 100. Another extremely important piece of this puzzle is deciding between Plagued Corpse Explosion and Blighted Corpse Explosion. Blighted Corpse Explosion will be your go-to pick in Darkness builds, as it's going to proc our Blighted aspect extremely quickly, and since we're already getting all those multipliers for Darkness skills, it's going to end up dealing a ton of damage. Now, with Bones builds, with Blood builds, both of those builds deal lots of physical damage, and we end up getting physical damage multipliers on our Paragon board and a few other places. And the Plagued Corpse Explosion ends up being incredibly powerful. A huge reason for why it's so good is that the Black River actually has a radius component to it, where it's supposed to increase the size of the Corpse Explosion, but with the damage over time Blighted version, it doesn't actually work. The radius is still the same size. With the physical Corpse Explosion, it's actually increased substantially. And when you're talking about a 3 million hit that's hitting the entire screen, well, that's going to kill everything on the screen that's not an elite anytime it can hit 5 corpses. So any build that can easily kill 5 mobs will then trigger a Corpse Explosion that will delete the entire screen, followed by a massive damage buff because of Flesh Eater giving us 40% damage. So you can see how this package is incredibly strong. And there's one more piece that we haven't talked about yet, which is the utility of the Embalmer aspect. Now, if you're playing Bone Spirit, like I have set up here, or if you're playing Bloodlance, or even Blood Nova, I would argue, the Blood Orb generation from Embalmer is insanely valuable, because with the overpower builds, we're reducing the cooldown on our key passive so that we're getting more overpowers. And for the Bone Spear build, we're getting more Blood Orbs for Blood Artisan's Caress. And this ends up dealing a lot of damage. And you can see how in this gameplay that's on the screen, the crazy synergies in the engine that drives this build, where we're running around consuming huge batches of corpses, we're shooting out giant bone spirits to get the corpses, and then the corpses that we make explode and destroy the whole screen, which gives us more corpses, which gives us blood orbs, and this engine just goes off. So not only does this setup give us a tremendous amount of damage and a massive AoE on damage that allows us to kill things much easier, but it can also function as a core engine of corpse consumption that makes a lot of builds much stronger. And you can see how when you combine all of these things together, it becomes very difficult to argue against running Black River and Corpse Explosion with Sacrilege in every single build. I really think that as the meta continues to develop, this is going to become the standard in every Necro build. I mean every Necro build. I will be surprised to see any build that doesn't run this package outperforming a build that does run it. Whether you're talking about Bloodlance, Blood Surge, Bone Spear, Bone Spirit, you guys know all the builds. I don't think any of them will be better off without this package. So let me know in the comments if you think I'm right. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. But I've got a Bone Spirit video coming up, and we'll see how good it is. And I'm going to start making updated build guides incorporating this package into every single build. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you around.